So welcome to my MZ Baghira mods. Right, let's get straight down to it. Having a little bit of a problem just in the gear control arm, the gear as you call it. Basically the main problem is, whether you can see that, it's sloppy, it's all over the place. So I'm just going to have a strip down, find out what's wrong. I can see that it moves left and right, so there must be a bush inside there that's worn, and I can see a tiny bit of movement in this pin. However, there's not a lot I can do about the movement in the actual, well, you can see it there, gear drive, gear change, spleen, whatever you want to call that. So we're going to take it to bits now and have a quick look, see what we can find out. Let's see if I can set the camera up there. Alright, quick span out from the back. Take this, pop the screw, 2 fingers to lift this pin, slide this pin out, out the way and pull that out the way. So there we have it. Let's have a look inside. Right, you can see we're on the shop now. I remember replacing this bolt with a nice stainless steel model, just so this shaft, don't know whether you can see there, just so this shaft wouldn't wear down at the bike or become a problem. I've gone through this stage before, so I'm just explaining to you the best model around. Inside there, we poke it through. We can see that there's an inner shaft, a bit like a bush or something that would ride on a bush anyway. We'll put that to one side. If we use the nut to poke it through, right, we've got a bush seal there, another item. Poke it all the way through, see what pops out. Right, got the secondary bush, and what I initially carbon bush. Now this rides on this and causes no friction. On inspecting this injection mould part, so I'm closer looking, this is just a piece of plastic, a rubbish piece of plastic, so I can instantly see that it doesn't fit properly. Also I've noticed that this bush is 10mm, the whole unit's almost 20mm wide, so of course there's nothing for it to stay steady on. Secondary on the linkage arm, where this device holds, I've checked this, minimum wear there, not a lot of wear. You'd expect there to be a lot because it's aluminium, but there's hardly any wear there. Checking the pin, there seems to be a lot of wear. I can certainly see 2 grooves there and there where over the time, it's actually the same width, so over the time it's just worn the steel rather than aluminium. So I've devised a kit that's going to eradicate all these problems. The first of the kit is bin this and buy another one, simple as that. It's just I think it's an M6 6mm shaft, clevis pin retainer. I did buy the whole clevis pin but did not realise that it's an opposite, it's a left hand thread, not a right hand thread, so fortunately we can't use that. So here goes with the modification. I'm just going to move the camera up so we can see a little bit better. Right, so we know the diameter of this is, well, let me guess, I'll pause on that. Right, back again. We know the diameter of this 16 millimeters, and we know we're using a millimeter bolt, which is about 8 millimeters. So regardless of this, and regardless of these, and regardless of this bush, because we know this system just wears too quick. I've been on the internet, and believe it or not, wow, look at that, ball racers, bearings to you over the pond. So in case of 2 bearings, these are as follows: 16 millimeters outside diameter, 8 millimeters inside diameter, 5 millimeters across. I bought 2 of these for £1.60 each. What a bargain. All we've got to do is make a bush that takes up the slack in the middle. Now this is a really neat bush, and I got this from this, if anybody recognises this. This is the piston pinion from a 50cc moped piston that holds the piston in place, and it just so it's exactly the same as the pin that we took out. So I'm keeping this because I want to keep all my MZ parts. If I ever need to return it to original, I've got the bits that have not been messed up to do that. So if you want to make yourself a spacer, make one out of an old piston pin, or cut this up yourself if you don't want to save it, or make some a load of washers. So basically we're just going to, first of all, I'm going to pop one washer in one end. Next, so this spacer doesn't move around, I'm going to pack everything with nice, gunky, gluey, grease. Plus this will help fill the void, so very little water ingress. If there's no space for water, there's grease in the way. Right, let me just tidy up. So as you can see, we've packed it out, we've put one washer in, we've packed it out, we've put the spacer inside. We can just pop the bolt through. There you can see the spacer. There's enough grease to stop water getting in. Can't stand a mess. So we're going to pop, as you can see, pop the other spacer in. Thing is with red and tacky, as you people know over the pond, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's red and it's tacky. Right, and I'll see the bearings are in place. Tacky grease inside, keeping the inner shaft in place. We've measured it, it's just slightly proud. Now the next issue is when we clamp everything together, because we're using bearings, this outside of the bearing is going to interfere. It's going to clamp just as equally inside of the bearing, so and that will free everything up. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of tacky grease just to keep the bearing in place, to keep the washer in place, and likewise a bit of tacky grease. Just to keep secondary wash. And like I say, the idea of the washers is so the only point of compression is straight through the centre of the bearings and the spacer. Clamp that up, the bearings are still going to run free on the outside. So let's put it on the bike. Right, we're back on the bike now, so this is going to be my very first attempt. The main problem being is spacers, it's going to fall off, is the between the distance of the gear control. I very much doubt it's going to work first time. I can see that it doesn't like these spacers straight away, so let's just pop it in without the spacers. And tighten it up, because I figure that don't forget washer, and a washer on the back side. Right, I'm just going to tighten it up because I've got a nylon washer, so I can tighten it up and turn it back one thread. Right, just still, it's very nice this way. Minimal movement that way, so have a look at if we've made any difference at all, or just waste time. That's 1,000 times better. As you can see, oh god, I'm getting grease all over the camcorder. As you can see now, very little movement there, and the only movement backwards and forwards now is purely movement on the shaft itself. and that is something inside the engine, a little bit of free allowed, but I'm happy with that. That's very solid. It's got some good bearings inside as well, so it's got to be better than a bit of plastic. I'm going to widen this out a bit to accept those two little spaces that are put in, because I want to be able to tighten this up fairly tight. Although it's not necessarily with a nylock bolt on the back, it'll not come loose, but let's see. What I did was I took the spacer out of the inside of this and just shaved a couple of thou off to allow me to get the two washers on. So now this is fairly tight, yet it's free enough for it to work. If I can go down from the top, there's no forward or backwards play anymore, and if I close in, there's no play in this anymore. The only play is in the shaft itself, which I suppose has got to be there for the return spring to work. So yeah, all in all, that's a success, and I know that there's two stainless steel waterproof sealed bearings inside there, not a piece of plastic. I've not damaged any of the parts that I've taken off, so if I want to return it back to standard condition, I can do. What I'm going to do now is just set these up and set this up. Thanks for watching.